Hi there. So you'd like to learn more about your water supply? Well, this personalized video is all about water resources in your area, how we plan for the future, and will ask your views to help shape our long-term approach to securing your water future. To get an overview of your area, please enter your postcode on the next screen. Providing your details means you can enter our draw to win a £250 High Street gift card. Great, thanks. Your postcode tells us you're in the Rodeford zone. This is one of 3 water resource zones in the southwest, all named after our major reservoirs. The others are Colliford and Wimblebore. There are around 364,000 homes in this zone, and 80% have water meters. Here, water comes from 10 reservoirs, 13 river intakes, and a small number of groundwater sources. During dry periods, these are supported by the strategic reservoir at Rodeford. We adopt a flexible approach to operating our water resources so that we can respond to changing or unusual circumstances. We plan so that, on average, we don't need to introduce hosepipe bans more often than once in 20 years, or issue bans on non-essential use more than every 40 years. And we haven't had a hosepipe ban for over 20 years. Keeping these service levels means planning for the future, considering long-term issues that could impact supply and demand, such as population growth, customer demand, climate change, and the environment. Would you like to learn more about these? The population of our total supply area is expected to grow from around 2.1 million now to 2.5 million by 2045. In the Rodeford Water Resource Zone, the population growth is expected to be around 110,000. Even if we all use less water, this means that demand across our region could increase by 40 million litres per day. That's around 1.5 times as much as the whole of Exeter uses every day. Across the southwest region, 8 out of 10 customers have a water meter. As a household with a water meter, on average you use around 15% less water. Alongside more efficient household appliances and environmental concerns, this means that the amount of water that each person uses has typically reduced in recent years and is now around 139 litres per day. Some of the impacts of climate change, such as temperature changes or more frequent and more severe droughts and floods, are more obvious. But others, like potential changes in the way people and businesses use water and how much they use, are less so. All these impacts will affect how we manage our water resources in the future, and we estimate that this could reduce our capacity by between 1% and 5%. We need to be careful about the amount of water we take from rivers and groundwater sources. Taking more water from the environment means that there is less to support the plants and wildlife that rely on it, which could potentially damage habitats and put ecosystems under additional stress. This impact is greater during times of drought. Our water resources are in a good position, and we don't expect this to change in the short term. But due to the long-term impacts on supply and demand, the future may see more frequent restrictions on water use. Hosepipe bans lasting up to 6 months would impact everyday activities, such as watering the garden and cleaning cars. Non-essential use bans lasting up to 4 months would prevent businesses from operating car washes, cleaning windows, vehicles and industrial equipment. They wouldn't be able to fill ponds or swimming pools, and parks and golf courses couldn't be watered. Long-term water resource strategies focus on either accessing more water or reducing demand. Which strategy would you like to explore? We could increase the amount of water that we have access to. By improving our ability to move water between water resource zones, working with other water companies to move water between regions. reusing treated wastewater by mixing it with river water and then treating it at the water treatment works so that it meets our high legal drinking water standards, or taking more water from rivers and out of the ground. The advantage with these solutions is that they are reliable and will increase the amount of water available for use. The disadvantages are that they could take many years to deliver and they could have environmental impacts. Taking more water from the environment leaves less for plants and wildlife that rely on it, and the treatment and distribution of this water will use more energy. Typically, water resources cost around £1.5 to £2 million for every megalitre per day to produce. In the UK, each person uses around 139 litres of water a day. In Germany, it's 121 litres a day. We can all work together to use less water through simple steps, such as having a shower instead of a bath, using water butts to collect rainwater for watering the garden, or planting drought-resistant plants that don't need as much water, or rainwater harvesting or water recycling in the home where water is reused for flushing toilets. There are also steps that we can take as a company to reduce leakage and to support customers in reducing consumption through providing water-saving devices and advice around water conservation. The advantages of this approach are that these kinds of solutions can be easier to implement than accessing more water, and there are fewer environmental impacts. The disadvantage is that they are less certain to produce water savings and could require investment over several years to deliver significant water savings. This means that typically, for 1 million litres a day reduction in demand, we would need to invest around £2 to £4 million. Which approach would you prefer us to take, or should we look at a mix of these options? We'd also like to know when you think we should start to take action. Should we ensure that there is no increase in the frequency of water restrictions? This could mean that bills go up now, but gradually, to pay for any investment that is needed. But if demand grows less than expected, we may have invested more than necessary. Or would you prefer us to wait and be more certain about what the future looks like and how much investment is needed? The potential impact on bills would be delayed, but it could mean a sharp increase in the future. And if demand grows faster than expected, this could mean more frequent restrictions like hosepipe bans. This is the approach that you'd like us to take. Are you happy with this selection? Great, thank you for sharing your views with us. Alongside other research and engagement that we're doing, the choices you've made will influence the development of our water resources management plans and business plans for the future. We really appreciate you taking the time to view this video, and we'd like to know what you thought about it. As a thank you for completing the following survey, we'll enter you into a prize draw to win a High Street gift card worth £250. There are also gift cards worth £100 for 2 runners-up.